Welcome to Sunday Morning Quarterback with Jay Stockwell and Bob Frady.
Oh my God, Bob Fraley, are we delinquent in our report from the Pinstripe Bowl?
And wait a minute, we didn't do that. Oh, we did the pregame. That's right. We didn't do the postgame.
Yeah, and we've now just conducted a Sunday Morning Quarterback existential visit to
a year-end review, if you will, in Las Vegas.
To go see our buddy, friend of the pod, Tim Miles, play UNLV. And let's just say that we started the day at the Fontainebleau Hotel, which is, by the way, pretty schwanky.
Yeah.
At the sports book where we watched Nebraska beat UCLA.
Very good.
Commander Stockwell of the American Navy won $520 in a parlay bet, taking the Nebraska win and giving the points.
Once again,
taking the under.
That's how you do it, Nebraska.
Taking the under, and that was advised by Grok,
football.
By Elon Musk's Grok 2. But Elon got it wrong in the second game. I did take San Jose State and the 10.5 points from UNLV, but I took the under there too, and they of course did the over, largely because of a spirited performance by Tim's team in the second half. They were down at 20 at one point and lost the game by 6. So
they had a chance at the very end to corral that one rebound, but
and
luckily,
Randy, we sent you lots of video and pictures from the game and the game experience and the Vegas experience that you can put in there. It was a fantastic trip.
Let me tell you something. I'll give you a little insight to SMQ Nebraska edition. I'm a fairly sizable guy. I'm a solid 6'2", solid 190. You know, put it down. Keeping up with this animal, whole nother level. It's like going from 1AA to the Big Ten. It's like my whole body today is rebelling against me for the misdeeds of yesterday. I mean, we were in Vegas for one night, and it's going to take me 2 nights to recover from that one night.
Oh, you got it. But the steak at Don's Prime. Oh my God, dude.
Listen, anytime somebody makes a steak for you, it's kind of hard to be ungrateful about it. And that was a really good steak. But I don't think it was that. It was it smoked everything. And why were we in Las Vegas as well? It's to celebrate a successful season for Nebraska football.
Yes.
Our year-end review goes as such. Well, it could have been better. It could have been worse. Pretty much what happens when you have a 500 record.
But hold on, dude. No. This is going to be the best single report we've ever given on Matt Rhule's executive function. Okay. Let me tell you what he has done since the Pinstripe Bowl victory 1 week ago.
Hold on. We're talking about the season, not the end of the season. So from a football standpoint, through the season, good job. Made a bowl game. Mission 1 was accomplished.
Won the bowl game.
Got a little over their tips at the beginning of the season, including one knucklehead who predicted an 11-1 record. But did correctly predict the loss to Iowa.
I was 9-3. I was 9-3.
Yeah, we're both wrong spectacularly. And so a lot of progress, a lot of good stuff. Now, since the bowl, many, many things have happened. Why don't you enlighten us?
So this is the thing. This is where and it's not just since the bowl. I give Matt Rhule an A+ in executive function as a head coach, dealing with what was before him this season. Replacing Marcus Satterfield with Dana Holgorsen, which some people are now calling the best offensive coordinator in America, was phenomenal.
This is the same some people who freaking your boy relies on. Some people are saying that they're eating the dogs and the cats. These are the same some people.
Then Tony White leaves, and he's already got the replacement on the staff, from earlier in the year. All right, so that's just brilliant. And I said it at the time. when we hired our new defensive coordinator earlier in the year, I literally said that this is Tony White's replacement. And doesn't Tony White feel like an idiot now? Because guess what? Nebraska is number 1 in the transfer portal rankings in the Big Ten and number 8 nationally as of today.
Well,
that
there
is
you go.
amazing. So you've got a
I
true
thought that
Bob,
Tony
you've
White
got a-
just wanted to be going home. He wanted to be closer to his family.
Yeah, but no, he's going to regret it at this point, because now we are. I'm prediction right now. It's January 5th. Okay, we are a playoff team next year. Okay, we are a playoff team next year. The only gaps that have to be filled now are in the offensive line. This is, of course, barring any injury to Dylan Raiola, but we are putting serious pieces together through the transfer portal. And we just got to fill a couple gaps on the offensive line, and then we are in Schaefer City. Captain.
And a new special teams coach. So
and that'll be Bill Bush. I'm hoping it's Bill Bush, who's a Pelini era coach. Lives in Lincoln, by the way. And our friend Adam,
easy, that's for sure.
Yeah, our friend Adam Carricker is already out there calling for Bill Bush to be the guy. And Ed Foley is on he's on the breadline. So
it's always sad when those sorts of things happen. You know,
but this is where you got to give Matt Rhule serious cred for making the tough decisions this year, and putting the team and the program in the best possible situation to succeed going forward, and he's done that incredibly well.
Well, he kind of has to now. You know, he didn't make the second year leap. He sort of got to a bowl game, which was good. So it was a little bit of a jump. But everyone was sort of expecting this sort of, okay, first season's terrible. Second season, way better. Third season's great. And that second season jumped up a bit, but not quite where everybody thought they would. But hey, listen, if Nebraska was in the ACC, they'd be freaking 10-2. You know, what a joke of a conference that turned out to be this year.
Isn't it wild? I think it was our friend Adam Carricker said that, you know, now that everyone can pay their players, the SEC is irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, we both know that Nebraska had 200-man rosters with all the walk-on program. And once people figured out you could do that, then you lose your competitive edge. And that's kind of what happened a little bit with Nebraska is, you know, that program goes away, and now everybody so that was the big first move way back when, was roster restrictions. Then NIL comes out. Now it's NIL plus even more roster restrictions. It certainly does change the landscape for people, and a lot of kids who go to the portal, not everyone's going to find a better home. So it's
well, I think Nebraska is uniquely positioned to be successful in this new environment for two reasons. Number one, we've got a pretty good NIL program with 1890 and Matt Davison, right? Number two, we've got a profitable program with $100 million in revenue and no debt. So we can afford to set aside $20 million to pay our players, which is, frankly, they deserve it. It's $1 billion industry, so they should be earning. And so I think Nebraska is uniquely positioned to be highly successful again. And Matt Rhule, what he has proven to me this year, not that I'm just an observer, but my point is he's demonstrated this executive function to bring in the right personnel at the right time, without hesitation, to make some amazing decisions that I think are setting the program up for long-term success.
So I'll have you know, mister, last season, I predicted that two things should happen. Number one is that Marcus Satterfield should be fired. I was on it early. I was on it last season. Number two, Thomas Fedoni should enter the portal because he's criminally underused. Both of those have come true.
Well,
so don't laugh at 11-1. It's just I'm just early to the party. That's all.
Part of the reason Fedoni is underutilized is, Orkature at the end of the year, who's also gone, I think played better than he did. But I wish nothing but success for Fedoni. The kid is a hardworking guy, great kid. Is going to do great things in his life and potentially future in football. So
It's always hard when kids have to make these decisions, and that offense doesn't feature tight ends very much. So and with Hoiberg moving over to tight end, it's going to take up a lot of air in the room. So we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens.
Let's recap for everybody the last 24 hours. The SMQ final trip of the year. It was a 24-hour trip to Vegas. Saturday morning, I was on the plane at 7 o'clock. Flight got canceled. We're in Minneapolis, best hub in the United States, best airport in the United States.
Oh, don't you know there's another plane right over there? We'll just wheel it over and get you out on your way.
Sorry, got on the plane.
Sorry to give you you're going to be delayed a few minutes. That's okay. Don't worry about it. We got another plane.
So got on the plane. I was got there only like 25 minutes later than I normally would have. That just so happened to coincide with Bob's arrival. Different terminal. You were Terminal 3. I was Terminal 1. We met at the hotel. We check into our rooms. Fontainebleau is the newest hotel in Las Vegas. Really, really nice. But we beat feet to get up to the room and get organized, and then get back down to the sports book so we could place our bets, and then watch the Nebraska takedown of UCLA, which was very gratifying.
Here's something that has changed in Vegas is the monetization is open right now. It's wide open. Like they had this nice seating in the sports book, and they're like, "Oh, you want to sit there? That's a $200 minimum to sit there." First, actually, they put us in like the cheap seats where there's like a wall, and so I'm kind of looking over the wall like this up at these giant screens. And Stockwell, of course, like, I'm going to see if we can get a better seat, and negotiates us over onto the couch, which is normally a $500 minimum for lunch. And I'm like, I don't know if I could go for $500 at lunch, but they knocked it down to $200. So we had a very hefty,
and we got the game on the biggest screen, and we got the volume on, which was awesome. So we had the Nebraska game.
Listen, man, I'll find the screen. I'm good. I'm very, it's not that important to me. This guy goes up there. The game's starting. Put it on. And he's like the old man yelling at clouds, and it worked. So we had the big giant screen. We got to watch the mighty Cornhuskers take down the interlopers from California.
And it started, the beauty of the game was that it started extremely low scoring. So we knew we had the under secured, and all Nebraska had to do was win by 3 points, because that was they were giving 3 points.
It was a bricklayers convention in the first half. Let's be clear.
And they covered, which was amazing. And it was really exciting because it went down to like the last possession, where UCLA could have hit a 3 and got it down to 3 points. The loss was the win was never in doubt. It was like the margin.
Yeah, that's the pro and the con of sports betting is, as a fan of the team, that the win was secure. It's all you really need. But if you cover, then you're in a better mood.
Then we continue the most amazing basketball day on the planet. We go to the Thomas and Mack Center for UCLA versus San Jose State, and our former Nebraska coach, Tim Miles, is head coach of San Jose State. And I've been to the 20 road games with Coach Miles, and it's always the same. He comes out 5 minutes before the game. We shake hands quickly. He says, "Hey, hang out after the game." We're literally in the row that's right behind him. And the first half is real trouble for San Jose State. They're down by 20 points, and it's just looking like they're going to get shellacked. But they battled back. It was a very spirited second half comeback by the guys. They got it to within, 6 points.
It was 4.
Oh, 4 points. Yeah, 4 points.
Yeah, and then they got
down 20.
They had a chance for the rebound, and UNLV just happened to get it. It was a loose ball. They got the rebound and foul and a couple of points to make it the final margin. But they covered.
Yeah, they covered.
My parlay a winner.
Yeah, so Bob won his parlay. I took Nebraska and the points, but I took the under. So my second parlay didn't work out. But on the whole, I think we won.
Let's not talk about what we won. So
anyway. we did well. We did well.
Then we go to the basketball game and have a great time. Roll right back.
Hold on. hold on. I want to talk about the after. So what's really special about Coach Miles is, and it's very, I guess it may be not unique amongst coaches, but the guy has a unique following of people. Like, there were people from his old coaching tree at North Dakota State. There were people from San Jose State that follow the program. After the game, so the head coach of UNLV is Kevin Kruger, who's the son of Lon Kruger. Lon Kruger's a famous coach who coached at UNLV for 7 years and was also the head coach of Oklahoma for 10 years. So after the game, and coach comes out and spends time with each of his key constituents that he wants to talk to, Kevin Kugler's wife comes over with their child and says hello. And then Lon and his wife come over and says hello. And Tim just methodically works his way around like all the key people that are there. And during the game, I'm texting my old friend from the Naval Academy, Doug Wojcik, who's the assistant head coach at Michigan State. Doug was the point guard at Navy for David Robinson. Doug went to high school at Wheeling Central Catholic, okay, and graduated. We're the same age 60, graduated in 1982. And guess who else went to Wheeling Central Catholic? Mike Nazaro.
So there you go.
So we talk about like the ultimate. So we touched multiple programs at this game. We touched UNLV. We touched Nebraska. We touched Lon Kruger in Oklahoma. We touched Michigan State and Navy. So it was just this really special afternoon, about 5-6 hours of basketball. And then we head back to the Fontainebleau, and you can pick up the story from there.
And the boiler room is doing pretty good at this point. We've had a good lunch. We started skimming through a few different cocktail choices, and we get to the Thomas and Mack Center, and we're like, hey, can we have gin? Because Jay and I are both gin aficionados. So like, we don't have any gin in the building. So we ended up having to drink vodka, which was our second or third alcohol of the day. And then we head back to the hotel, and we're like, we're kind of hungry. Let's eat. And I'm like, well, he said, we're kind of hungry. Let's eat. I'm like, oh boy, okay, let's go. So we roll into this nice steakhouse and get a bunch of appetizers. And then they offer us an old fashioned that's made at a tray side table. It's like this new thing newish, I guess, thing in Vegas where they come with a tray or a cart and they make it old fashioned in front of you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that seems pretty old fashioned.
And we had Weller. We had Weller bourbon, which is a Brian Goodmanson thing. Brian Goodmanson is going to get mentioned in this. So they have Weller bourbon.
Offer is that you can have it smoked. I'm like, what? It's like, so what they do is they take this bell jar and with a little flame thing attached to it, drop in some chips and set it on fire, and a cloud of smoke appears on your drink, and then you drink it. It's like, I think that was the ingredient. That was the secret ingredient that started the boiler room. It was like the activator in your pile of stuff that you make dirt out of. And so we have that. Then we get a bottle of wine. Then we take down dinner, and then
the steaks were sick. They were absolutely sick. Yeah.
Then dessert comes, and then another drink, and I was like, "All right, I'm pretty." It's 9:00 at night by this point, so.
But then we had to go win a couple $100 more.
Well, yeah. So we're like, we can't come to Vegas and not gamble. So I said, "There's a table over there with a $15 minimum." So we run over there, and both of us immediately hit like 5 hands of blackjack in a row, which rarely happens. And
I didn't lose a single hand. A single hand.
Let's get out. And so 5 hands in, doubled our money out, and then ran over to the booze hall there and had a nightcap.
No, but you missed we stopped weirdly at some point and had the nickel slots, and I won $80 nickel slots.
We're like, let's play nickel slots.
So I end up net up like $700. So the flight was on points. The hotel was like $250. dinner. So I net ahead. Total expenses came out ahead.
Dinner was costly, but that's okay. It was fun. It was a great
It should
trip.
be noted that our waitress was the point guard of the UNLV women's basketball team just a couple years prior.
We were surrounded by basketball. It was
it was a total unique basketball trip. The hard part was I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning, and I accidentally on the Uber app selected Terminal 3. So the guy took me to Terminal 3, and I was like, and I'm like, dude, we got to go to Terminal 1. And so there was a little bit of a kerfluffle there, but I just slipped him 20, and I said, just take me over to Terminal 1, and got there in plenty of time, and was able to crank out work all the way home, and so it ended up being a really both the outbound and the inbound were incredibly productive, and I just cranked work out on the flight in both directions.
So let's talk about after we get home. So in Southern California, it is 72 and sunny. So we fired up the hot tub. Mrs. Frady and I had a nice little hot tub this afternoon.
Nice.
And then we're sitting around, and we note our Ring camera goes off, and here come Jay and Mrs. Stockwell towards the house. And I'm like, what's going on? And Mrs. Frady said, well, there's some stuff that they're supposed to pick up.
To be clear, your house in Minnesota. So I'm back in Minnesota. I was back in Minnesota before Tim Miles started practice at 9 a.m. on Sunday in California. I landed at 11 here. So I'm back early. All right. So I'm back home, and we're going over later in the evening. We're going to Bob's Edina house.
Yeah. Which is, we're here right now. We're not there. So they go over there all the time to just check on it. And what happened at my house?
So Leslie sent us over to pick up like some food and stuff. So I found a really nice bottle of Sancerre in the wine fridge up in the bar, and Betsy and I poured ourselves a glass, and we sat in the room. What do you call it? The Four Seasons porch?
We call it the sun porch.
Yeah. And watched the kids skate on the lake, and just added that couple glasses of that really nice Sancerre. Brought Mondale over. He was playing with your dog's toys, and I'm like, dang, this is like the couples talk room over here.
Oh, it's the therapy room. Yeah, it's the therapy room.
We can just sit there and have a glass of wine and watch the sunset, and I was like, dang, we don't have that view on Edina Boulevard.
Oh, the whole reason why we bought the house is because of that stupid view, and it's the reason why I go to Minnesota when it's freaking minus 2 degrees outside.
The good news is I know the code, and we're going to be there. Now that we understand the value of that room and Bob's really well-stocked winery program over there. So, yeah.
What happened to all the wine? I don't know.
You've been gone for that's the first time we've actually partaken of Bob Frady wine, so.
There's, believe me, there's enough of it. So, yeah, I'm glad you had a nice time.
Yeah, it was literally, it was a nice afternoon excursion walking over there and get Mondale.
So I figured something out. People actually do listen to our podcast beyond the first minute, because
really?
I made a comment in the last podcast about how everybody and their brother has a podcast in Nebraska. And somebody said, I've decided not to have my podcast this year, which I thought was hilarious. So it cracked me up. But this will be our last podcast
until we're going to do spring game this year.
Football season. Yes, It never ends. I know. But for now, this is all you get of us. This is it.
Yeah, this is it.
This is charity work for us, because we ain't making no money at this. And here's the other thing. Is people come on to their podcast and they want to be super professional. I am super professional podcaster, and I speak like this. And we're just two guys, and we're like, all right, let's turn on the camera, see what happens.
As you can tell, there's never been a rehearsal. There's never been a script. There's never been an outline. That there's no producer. We don't do anything to try to monetize it because we're too busy with our day jobs. We just have fun with it. But we love Nebraska, and we love all the people that we interact with on a regular basis at Nebraska. Kathy Farrell, Tyler Kai, hopefully Matt Rhule, especially after I gave him an A+ on executive function today.
Executive function sounds something like when you like take a chip out of your computer or something like that.
No. I think it's a really important thing for coaches to be able to recognize when stuff's going wrong and making choices.
Well, people are saying that next year this will be the #1 podcast for Nebraska sports. So,
I don't think so. No. We got to give massive cred to our friend, the friend of our pod, Adam Carricker.
I'm not saying it. People are saying it.
Yeah. But Adam Carricker, I love this guy because he is like on it, like every day, like on it. I go to be informed about what's going on with Nebraska. I listen to every word that guy says, and he's impressive. And I'd like to get to. We've never met in person. He's been on the pod.
I just yawned on camera.
I know.
What happened in the podcast? I'm like,
what happened, dude? I got up. I'm the one that got up at 4:30. What time did you get up?
I got up several times, but the 6 o'clock was the bell ringing.
What did you do for 5 hours?
I changed to an earlier flight. I left earlier.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
You went home early.
I was like,
okay.
I got to go home.
Yeah, that's the thing with Vegas, and I'm going back to Vegas on Tuesday for CES. So Vegas, I can only take 2 nights because
I think that one night is perfect because here's what you do. You get your buds. Here's how to do Vegas right. Assuming you don't want to do anything like, too bad. It's the single version versus the married version. Single version is 2 nights. Married version is 1 night. Married version, you just go there with your buds. Now, the benefit to both Orange County and Minneapolis is you can get there relatively quickly. If you have to connect to get to Vegas, it's a little harder on this plan. You might need 2 nights. But here's the night. You fly in first thing in the morning. Get early check-in at your hotel so you can get rid of your stuff. And then you go out, have a baller lunch. Just go have a good lunch and then hit the sports book.
Stop by the sports book before lunch.
Let me get the whole thought out there, mister.
Yeah.
So you have the lunch and the sports book. Depending upon the timing, you may want to combine those 2 things, which is what we did. Lunch at the sports book. It's like, just imagine 85 TVs in your living room. That's what it's like. And then if it's warm outside, you can hit the pool. And if it's not, then you go back up, you rest a little bit, and then you come downstairs, you gamble, you drink, you go to dinner. If you're feeling feisty, you go to a club, you stay up until about midnight, you pass out.
What about the shows, man?
Hold on a second. This is one night with your buds, not with your freaking girl. You go with your buds to see a show. You got to go see Cats with your men's golf club. The men's golf club from Regina would be attending the Vegas presentation of Wicked. Would you like to attend, Mr. Stockwell? It's like, no, it's with your buds. And then you get up and you get out first thing in the morning and maybe pack on a good breakfast. That's it. That's all you need. Because you can go hard as you want to for 1 night. Because somebody's always good. If you stay for more than 1 night, someone's always going to start to complain. Now, if you want to do 2 nights, if you're a single guy, then you want to get there a little bit later. You don't want to get there first thing because you don't want to peak out too early. You want to do a little gambling. Want to lay down a base, like a burrito or a steak. Lay down a base. Hit the clubs. People are looking to go to Vegas to do bad things. You're just the guy to help do it. And you get out there, or maybe you want to convert them to Christianity, whatever. It's like you get out there, you hit that club. You go to like 2 a.m. Now, if you can afford it, you get a table and you get bottle service. And you get a bottle, and then you get some stuff, and you bring your pals in, and everybody has a good time. Hopefully, there's some foam coming out of the ceiling. Then the second day, you get up around 10, 11 o'clock. You hit the pool, and you cruise the pool all day. Grab some dinner that next night. Do some more gambling, and then bounce out the following morning. That's how to do it. That's it. Like beyond that, it's all wasted time. But that's how to do it. You taking notes there, Stockwell?
I'm just sending an email because your story got a little long.
Yeah.
So
If we were sending emails because your story got a little long, I would send like 15,000 emails a podcast. I could
all right.
build
So
and
what
send a
about the married?
campaign.
Did you do the married couple version of the story of the
No, we
optimal
haven't done
Vegas?
the married. I haven't done the married couple version of the story.
Okay, so do the like you got to bring
If
the
you
shows
do the
in.
married couple version of the story, you fly in first class, and then you get a big limo to pick you up, and then you go and see a show and get some dinner, and then you go to bed about 9 o'clock, and maybe wake up the next morning and go for a walk, and then go do some shopping, go see a show, have a couple of drinks, and then leave.
All right. Well, look, it was a fun year, Bob Fraley. Next year, we're already planning it. We're gonna upgrade the technology on the pod. We're gonna have a little more AI involved in things. We're gonna try to spend a little more time on it than we do, because we don't really do spend any time other than the live talking, because we send it out. This goes to the Philippines for production, and we don't really don't do any. We speak and then we send it off and then it shows up, and that's how it works.
That's how it should be. That's
yeah,
exactly how
so-
it should be.
so
All right.
ne-
So
Next
for
next
this
year,
year's version of Sunday Morning Quarterback, I'm Bob Frady. That's Jay Stockwell. Take us out there, Jay.
it has been my privilege to be a representative of Nebraska and the military community from Nebraska, Commander Jay Stockwell, American Navy, and I will say, to sign off for the year,